Hello, everybody, and welcome to Moments with MindLeaps. My name is Rebecca Davis, and I'm the founder and executive director of MindLeaps. And every Friday, we have the opportunity to meet with amazing people all around the world who are using the arts to build communities and build resilience in different people everywhere. And this week is especially special for many of us because we're going to have the chance to speak with one of our country directors. Martha Bua Peace, joining us from Uganda, Kampala, Uganda. And likely you've seen, for those of you who are watching these series on a regular basis, sometimes we speak with researchers, sometimes dancers, sometimes community builders, all sorts of different people. And what makes Martha really special and so close to our hearts is that Martha actually has a tremendous background in mental health and working with people from different populations, as leading the MindLeaps program in multiple locations in Uganda. So we are excited to have Martha joining us. And hello to all of our friends. Hello, Martha.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, I'm so happy to see you on Instagram.
I know.
I bet when you and I both started working for MindLeaps, neither of us would have ever believed that we would be on Instagram, but here we are, Martha.
Yes, that's true.
It's one of the unusual benefits of COVID, I guess.
hmm Yes.
Martha, thank you so much for the time. We know it's really late in Uganda. I've just been sharing with our guests how lucky we are to speak with you because of the background you have working with different populations, also working in different places in Uganda, and also your academic background in psychology and mental health. So we're really excited to have this conversation with you today. Thank you for the opportunity.
I'm actually happy to be here. Thank you so much for hosting me.
Bertha, tell us a little bit about how you got involved in some of the work you do today, both with MindLeaps and outside of MindLeaps. This area of psychology, mental health, but it extends beyond that, as you've taught me well. How did that originally connect with you in either your studies or your professional life?
I'll actually begin with my background. I Girls face many challenges, especially in school, not being respected, and also in the community at large. We are expected to stay home and do housework than go to school. So to beat all those odds, I had to go to school. I went and studied, then got a degree. But not only that, I pursued my master's in gender studies, and the reason was I wanted to create an environment where women feel the change and where women have active voices, people who can speak for them, but also people whom they can reach out to. Then when I joined HIAS in 2013, I realized the importance of mental health. A lot of the communities that we serve in believe that mental health is a cultural illness. They often say it's madness. And so many of the Ugandans are not aware about the impact of mental health, or how people who are struggling with mental health issues go through a lot of challenges to cope with the stigma, also with almost the lack of support. However, in HIAS, we provided a forum where refugees can come together, share their experiences, but also heal from the pain. And that is one of the things that got me alert to the side of mental health, that yes, many people are struggling, but they don't have people to reach out to, or even if they have people to reach out to, they don't know exactly what to say it. So we provided a platform where refugees were free to come and share with us both their everyday challenges, but also their past experiences, things that they had been through and they wanted help with, but were fearful of letting the public know. So that is how I came to join the mental health. Yes.
Gosh, Martha, I didn't know all of that. And I think, how you talk about mental health, I mean, it's the same in the United States too. People are afraid to talk about it. People think it's a disease. People think it means something's wrong with you. It really has this stigma associated with it. And we're fortunate in the United States that we have many organizations who are advocating for it and trying to change. that situation, but it's not so dissimilar from what you described, and finding those safe spaces is a rarity in our country too. Um, the other thing, Martha, that you talk about is your studies in gender studies at the master's level. What is it like in Uganda? Is that like, were your family, your environment, is it common to study that? Is it somewhat surprising for women to be bold enough to take that on in their studies, or what is the local reaction to something like that?
Wow. In the beginning, it was difficult. First of all, a lot of people don't understand what gender studies is. They think it's a study that helps women to actually marginalize men, which is not the fact. That is what they use. Actually, that is the most, when you come to someone and you say, I am pursuing maybe a master's in gender studies, everyone will be like, oh, you are a feminist. So
Yeah,
you want to be on top. Yes.
that's what they say in the US too.
It hasn't been an easy journey, but it's a journey that has been traveled, and it's worthwhile. It's something that I say proudly, because right now where women are is not the way they were when the other years. So we are able to now hold offices. You see, I'm the country director, so we are able to hold offices. We are able to make active, actually, and informed decisions, unlike the way it was. And that was actually one of the things that drew me to gender studies. The fact that many women across Uganda do not have a voice. Many of them do what they do, but they are supposed to be seen and not to be heard. So many of them are kept in the dark, and decisions that are simple as family planning, where you can decide the number of children that you are supposed to have in your household, is a decision that has been taken away from them. So what gender studies does is helps the women, first of all, find their voice, activate their agencies, but also become meaningful partners in all relationships that they engage in, be it marriage, be it at school. It provides that platform for women to really speak out and for us to showcase what we are really made of. Many people don't know that. So that is my interest.
Oh my gosh. Martha, me and everyone watching, I mean, we just love listening to you because you speak about the reality and the hardships in the world, and also you find a path where we can be led to be of greater value and find more solutions. Oh gosh, everything you say, I just, I'm glad we're recording. But Martha, one of the other things I think that, that you've heard me say a lot about MindLeaps is, how proud we are of you and how fortunate we are to have a female African country director. And for those of you watching who don't know what it's like inside MindLeaps, almost every time we have a serious issue somewhere in another country, we make Martha come and join our meeting because we need that voice. We need that female voice. We need that lens to help us make good decisions no matter where we are in the world. So just an opportunity for me to underscore what you're saying is how possible that is, how necessary it is, how needed it is, and how powerful it is when it happens. Yeah, so forever grateful. Martha, tell us a little bit now about some of the work that you're doing in different locations. So of course you've worked with Highest, you've worked with MindLeaps in Kampala. Now with some of the MindLeaps work, you've spent time in Urachinga Refugee Settlement and Ramanja Refugee Settlement, focused on refugees. What is it like working with refugees? What is it like being in those different communities as a Ugandan?
First of all, a lot of people don't realize that the refugees that we are working with had dreams before they fled to Uganda. They had a lot of aspirations, and their lives were going on, and all of a sudden wars and other things disrupted them, and now they are here. So when you are in an environment with refugees, first of all, it's a humbling experience. These people come to you for help, but they also make you aware that there is that other side that can happen to anyone. We are just so fortunate that in Uganda, we've not had wars that have made us flee, but refugees give you the reality of what happens when someone is displaced from their homes, of what happens when you have nothing. You were studying before, now you are at ground zero. You don't know whether you'll go back to school. All the opportunities that you had in your country of origin, you no longer have them. So when you work with refugees, you get that you get to get that taste of life that first of all makes you thankful that you have everything, but also gives you a new meaning to life. I'll share my favorite story, and it's from Orushinga Refugee Settlement.
Yes, please.
Of this 16-year-old who was raped in her country when she was fleeing. And when she came here, actually, she discovered that she had a child, like she was pregnant. And in that process, she has a child. But in Africa, in general, when you give birth, whether you are 16 or 14, you are already considered an adult. The fact that you have a child. And I met this girl, and one look at her, I knew that she was lost. She had that look, she had almost given up. And then she hears about a program in MindLeaps that offers a safe space for children to come and just be children, to help them create new memories. She comes to this class. The first 3 classes, Rebecca, she would sit in that corner with her child and just look at these children all jumping, laughing. And I think she thought to herself she would not do it. I kept on watching her. I didn't approach her. I just kept on watching her. I gave her that distance of, you are free to come and watch. It is okay. No one will chase you. Just know that you'll always have that safe space here. Then on the 4th session, she requested to join. So I feel free. She actually left me carrying her child. Then she went to join the class. In the time I had seen her in all those 4 weeks, that was the first time I saw a smile on her face. And you don't know what that meant to me. The fact that she was with other people and she had was willing just for that moment to forget all her troubles and be in class, smile, and also be a child again. So many of us don't realize the impact of MindLeaps work, or we don't realize what a safe space does for a child who has lost everything, who has no hope, who actually doesn't know where the next meal is coming from, who for some reason parents are fighting all the time and there is domestic violence at home. And these are young kids that don't express themselves or don't know how. They can't find the right words to tell you. So they only sometimes act out, they're aggressive, they have anger management issues, they want to fight all the time, or sometimes they're, outright, they just want to stand in the corner, be by themselves. There is that isolation, low self-esteem. So it takes a lot for you to get all that and tell her that, you know what, I accept you for who you are. Whether you had a child, whether you are raped, that is not the most important bit. I just want to walk with you through the rest of the journey if you let me. And every time we give out our hands and tell them, here is my hand, I don't have anything else to offer, just me. Please come. I'll listen to you. I'll let you play. I often tell people that MindLeaps is not, we don't raise dancers. That's not at all our intention. We just use dance to let the children explore what they want to become. So every time a child is given that opportunity without any fear of judgment, I've seen these children blossom. Both in Oruchinga and in Rwanda Refugee Settlement, I see they turn from being timid to people who want to talk to you, people who want to express their concerns, people who want to tell you about their day, people who just want to smile with you. And for me, that means a lot. I don't take it for granted. The fact that you pull someone from a dark place and they're willing to come to you, you are their go-to person. For us as MindLeaps Uganda, we actually don't take it for granted, and we always work hard to make sure that we maintain that safe space where children can come and tell us anything that is on their minds. I think for me, that is one of the things that has stood out for me so far, working with refugees.
Oh my gosh, Martha. I mean, I've heard you share part of that story before, but every time we talk about it, I learn more. One of the things that stands out to me and how you talk about the safe space is that it's not judgmental. And this is something that some of us actually have been trying to like study on a communications level. Carl Wilkins, one of our great friends from MindLeaps Rwanda, has been taking some of us on to try to train us a little bit on recognizing when we use judgment. Because I mean, as you know, and as you explained beautifully in this story here, I mean, the MindLeaps environment in the dance studio, we're so conscious of that. Like that's our highest priority, is that everyone is accepted and no one is judged, right? But it's so easy to lose that as soon as you step into a new environment, or you're not conscious of that, and you start to use these words that then label people again, separate people again. And now in our country, we're seeing kind of how far that can go unchecked. And you remind us that, you know, especially in the context or from the lens of a refugee, where everything was supposed to be fine in their lives, that then you walk across the border and now you're judged forever and labeled forever for reasons that just don't even make sense, and how powerful we can be to actually change that too, and how we use our words and communicate. Oh my gosh, like lessons that really need to be heard all over the world today, Martha. I hope you're planning to after everything is fixed in Uganda, I hope you're planning to pack your bags, because we've got a long journey lined up for you.
I'll be happy.
Okay, so Martha, tell us a little bit now about the larger context in Uganda. So we hear kind of about the power of this work in refugee settlements. What is the situation now? Uganda's been a little bit slow to come out of COVID compared to some of the neighbors. You know, what are the conditions? Are refugees flowing in or going back to home countries? What is it like today?
I think to give a broader picture is that we've had actually lockdown for most of 2020, and we are slowly recovering. Like schools have reopened, children have gone back to school, but also apart from that, we've also had riots, political riots, where a number of people were killed in November. So I think there has been a little bit of tension, but with the president swearing in and everything, I hope we'll be fine. And everything goes back to normal. True, with COVID, we still have a lot of restrictions, but at least the happy note, or not very happy note, is that we now have a vaccine and we can go and get vaccinated. It's free of charge. So hopefully with that, we will be there. So
definitely, we're hoping for that very quickly. And what's like the pulse or the vibe of the youth right now? Is it calm? Is it still very precarious in terms of what can spark these demonstrations or these riots, or it's starting to like smooth out, and the youth are more at peace?
you know, it's hard to tell, especially like I told you earlier, that people have a lot on their mind. People have a lot of baggages. So it's hard to know what will spark what, where, and how, and when. So I think we are just praying as a country and hoping for the very best. We hope that what happened in November never happens again, because a lot of people lost their lives, innocent people. So we just hope that it never happens again.
Yeah, I mean, for the MindLeaps family, we've seen this time and time again in Guinea. And I just remember us watching the Uganda news, just thinking, we can't believe it's happening in Uganda. So yes, praying with you that is the history of the past, and a brighter road ahead. Martha, now shifting back, you know, again, kind of outside of all of these specific scenarios that we've talked about, for you, like not necessarily attached to MindLeaps or anything, for you, where do you see yourself 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Where do you see the development of mental health, the role of women? What is your vision, or what are your hopes, looking for much further than tomorrow?
One of my hopes is a world where at least we put mental health at the forefront of every programming, because I think a lot of mental health issues have been ignored, and as a result, suicide, then substance abuse, a lot of things that have come out of ignoring mental health. And we've seen the effects now, and actually the community is beginning to acknowledge that mental health is something that we need to address, whether we want it or not. So one of the broader perspectives that I want for me as an individual, but also for Uganda and MindLeaps at large, is that if we put mental health at the core of every programming, I think we will see a change, because we will begin looking at people as individuals and not in clusters. When you look at someone as an individual, you are able to tailor-make services that suit that particular person, depending on whatever they are going through. If we continue clustering people, male refugees, female refugees, women, men, we might not actually get a solution that fits everyone, because we've put them in clusters. So I also think about the uniqueness of what we do as MindLeaps. Using dance is a very powerful tool. First of all, it allows the children that we work with to express themselves without fear of words or being judged, or choosing the right words for them to express how they are feeling. And for me, that is very, very powerful. If we could extend our work to more settlements, because I know a lot of children need an outlet. How do I address my anger management issues without having to talk about them? How do I address isolation? How do I build group teamwork? How do I make positive life decisions? Sometimes talking to them alone may not help, but giving them something that unites them and gives them a universal language without actually having to point out what it is that is coming from each individual, but giving them a branch to allow them to explore the different opportunities that are there for them, I think is still very powerful for me. And yes, I would like to explore that.
I love how you talk about kind of the collective and the individual at the same time. Like the individual, when we really look at mental health and what steps are needed for that individual, which, as you say, every case needs to be different because every individual is different and every child is so special and unique. But then also like the entry points and finding a space where kids can be part of the collective and like never have to talk until they feel like talking, right? Being able to create those group environments that then allow you to get to the comfort and the safety and the trust at the individual level. I mean, gosh, it's just, you think of people as groups and you think of people as individuals and all of those layers to really connect at that level, which is then really kind of when the solutions come. You really kind of capture the whole essence of it, Martha. Martha, we just have a couple minutes left, but one of the things I want to ask you, which is different than talking to dancers or kind of other people who are become educators and things like that, from the broad perspective that you have, from a woman as a country director managing a program, to somebody who's studied gender studies, to somebody who's been in these different communities. All of these young women are growing up around the world, in Uganda too, and they're starting to get these great educations, and they're wondering, like, where do I go with this? Or how does this all lead to leadership, right? These words that we keep tossing around. Like, what advice would you give to these young women who, are getting the academic knowledge, but need to, like, run down that path?
One of the things I would tell them is that we are unique individuals. We are unique. And if you look deep inside you, you know what you want to do with your life, and you know which path you want to follow. So do not let anyone tell you that you can't. They are wrong. You can. All you have to do is to follow your path, but also do it with intelligence. It's not about just following that you wake up one day and you say, okay, now I want to become a lawyer. Then you just go without planning. Please sit down and plan. Have a plan. What do I want to be? What can I do to achieve it? Yes, it might take you 7 years to become a country director, Some might be lucky, it might be just in 2 years or in 1 year. But the thing is that without a plan of action, you might not go very far. So what I would tell them, first of all, is to believe in themselves. There is a lot of baggage in life that is weighing us down. But the most important thing is that if you are going to wait for people to believe in you, they will not come. Believe in yourself. Believe that you can. And do it with a lot of love and passion. When you find that wonderful thing that you want to do, please breathe with it. Every step that you take, make sure that it's for that thing that you really want to do. If you wake up and you want to be a teacher, please practice teaching, even in an empty class. I love children. I will always look for ways to make it happen. My determination is to see a smile on every child I serve. And every time I wake up, one of the things I do is, have I made a child smile today? If not, why? What should I need to do to make that child smile? So I don't know what your passion is. I don't know what you want to become, but just believe in yourself. Plan that course of action. And just know that the sky is the limit for you. Thank you.
Martha, what you say is so true, and these are words well lived by. I have so many examples I could give when I say, Martha, like, what's the plan for Romanja refugee settlement? What's the plan for the new virtual academy? And the response I hear back is, wait, Rebecca, I'm building my plan, and then you will receive it. And time after time, it always ends up being successful. Your words and your advice, I need to follow, and everyone who wants to achieve those dreams and know that the sky is the limit should take to heart. Martha, it just, every time I know I say this every time, you're probably getting tired of hearing me say it, but I am so grateful for the chance to learn from you, to walk with you, to walk behind you and watch how you lead. It is just an amazing journey that we're on together, and I'm very, very lucky to be a part of your path.
I am actually happy that I am working with MindLeaps.
We are off for a long, long journey, and this is hopefully just the beginning. I see your vision for multiple settlements.
Yes. Yes.
Martha, thank you so very much. We can't wait to visit you in Uganda as conditions are improving, and thank you for all the work that you do for women around the world.
And thank you so much for having me, and to everyone that has watched us, thank you so much for taking time to listen to us talk. Thank you.
Thank you. See you soon.
Bye.
When I first went